Critical thinking is the art of not being mentally hijacked. At its core, it's the habit of slowing your beliefs down long enough to inspect them, not to destroy them automatically, not to worship them blindly, but to ask whether they actually earn the right to live in your head. A critically thinking mind does a few quiet but radical things. It separates claims from evidence. It notices emotional pull without confusing it for truth. It understands that confidence is not the same thing as accuracy, and repetition is not the same thing as proof. The loudest idea in the room is often just the most aggressively funded one. Here's the uncomfortable part most people avoid. Critical thinking is socially costly. You stop fitting neatly into tribes. You begin to see how incentives shape truth, how fear and identity sneak into logic wearing lab coats and holy robes. You realize misinformation doesn't spread because people are stupid. It spreads because it feels good, confirms belonging, or reduces uncertainty. The brain loves shortcuts. Critical thinking refuses them. Scientifically speaking, your mind is a prediction machine. It guesses first, explains later. Critical thinking is the discipline of catching yourself mid-guess and asking, "What would change my mind?" That single question is a crowbar. If the answer is nothing, you're not thinking. You're defending. Philosophically, it's intellectual humility with teeth. You treat your beliefs as working theories, not sacred artifacts. Upgrade them when better data arrives. Retire them when they fail. No melodrama. In a world optimized for outrage, distraction, and certainty theater, critical thinking is a quiet form of rebellion. It doesn't shout. It observes, it cross-checks, it waits. And when it speaks, it tends to be annoyingly precise. That's why it matters. Not because it makes you smarter, but because it makes you harder to manipulate, harder to scare, and harder to sell imaginary enemies and fake solutions to very real problems. Once you start using it, you notice something strange. Clarity feels calmer than certainty, and curiosity turns out to be a more stable identity than belief.